Now, when your fears are present and immediate, your landlord is going to kick you out next month because you're 2 months behind on rent, or there's a fire, running down your street and it's going to burn the car you're in or whatever. When the object of trauma or violation is present and immediate, taking action is the most important thing that one can do to respond to the fear. If you're about to run out of money and you're afraid of not having enough money, save up some money, increase your earning power, spend less. Get a fire extinguisher if you're afraid of fire. Get a smoke detector if you're afraid of something going. Taking action is the most important and the most intelligent thing to do when you are afraid of something that is in your present environment and that needs to be responded to. Now, if you take a lot of actions over time, you will find that you look up, there's batteries in the smoke detector, there's good refilled pressurized fire extinguisher, you've cut away the dead brush, that's near the house that could ignite your home. You've taken all the steps to reduce fire, and you've got to, you've taken the steps that can be taken to increase your survival, your security, your sense of love and belonging, your sense of self-esteem, to meet your human needs. But you're still anxious. You're still frightened. Well, one of the things that taking action can do is it can dispel all the fears that are in the present moment that relate to real things. And then it can clear the way to deal with past memories or past trauma. Meaning almost all of us in infancy or otherwise have been severely traumatized to a point where the memory of the trauma was partitioned and taken away from the body. It was disconnected from consciousness. It's a blank memory. Now, as we clear away the very real things that we need to respond to in present time, this can lead to a crazy-making phenomena in a trauma-illiterate culture. And the phenomena is, I've got more money in the bank than I've ever had. I've paid off this debt. I'm eating healthy. I've stopped smoking. I've done this. Whatever it is that seemed like the things that I needed to do. But I just feel anxious. I feel more stressed and anxious than I ever did. But now I feel crazy because I look around and there's nothing more that I could do. But I'm also upset because I should be feeling, since I took care of 90% of the fear in my life, I should be feeling 90% less fear. And in fact, my anxiety is growing. This is insane. So this can create the delusion that you mean to say that if I make my life safer, I'll feel more nervous, and that's just the way life works. Before, when I made my life safer, I got less nervous. And then at a certain point, now I'm more nervous. And this can be the fear of the unknown. It can also be the ignorance of not understanding that partitioned memories in the traumatic framework, in the traumatic history of the body, do not evolve. Meaning the very act of participating thing is like taking a photograph of a moment in time and then putting it in a safe. Now, you then go on with your life and make all kinds of improvements. But every time you look at the photograph And this photograph is a conscious photograph with its own identity. Every time the photograph looks at itself, it says this horrible thing is still happening. And it doesn't get the message when it's locked away in a safe that things have changed. Because the very act of locking it away is, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see that there have been changes. I don't want to look at you so you can't know about me. And so one of the things that happens as you clear your life up more and more, I found it in my own world as I created more and more peace, more and more serenity, less and less burden and responsibility, or less and less obligation. I had more time than I ever had, more freedom than I ever had, less distractions and less adrenaline because I had less problems. And where my mind would go would be to these buried memories. And this is partly where our culture responds with the medicine of keep busy. The idea if you just keep running for your entire life, you'll never have to face these memories. But another approach is, of course, to learn the art and the science of trauma and traumatic recovery and healing. And this says you don't have to rush around keeping busy doing things that aren't important. You can actually let some of those conscious photographs out of the box and let them integrate into the new reality that you've created for them. Look at this. No more rapists. No more obnoxious landlords. No more this and this and this. We've got a better world for you to come back. And then when that part integrates, it updates. The photograph morphs into the present time. The terror dissolves out of the traumatic moment. Now, this is a science, and it is a burgeoning science. It's beginning. In a chauvinistic culture, the most important things, the inner states of the human being, are ignored. So it's taking some time. 98% or more of the culture is traumatically illiterate. So cannot help you, and in most cases we can't help others in this terrain. But as you take the photograph out of the safe, feel the feelings and let that part know, hey, you're not alone anymore. I'm here. I took care of that for you. And we've learned from it. And now we're not going to do this and this and this. There's a sense of relief. But until we do that, and as long as we believe the earlier body memories that tell us that we will die if we face those feelings, if we remember those memories, if we are left alone with those thoughts that we will die, we can't afford to go back and spend time with reintegrating those parts. And it's particularly important to have help. It can be, help to a larger consciousness that isn't physical, a deity, a goddess, an angel or whatever. Or it can be a good trauma therapist. It can be an amazing friend. But we need help to face those points in our memory. In our infancy, when giants were taking care of us that often didn't know how to. We need help to face the fear of death in order to be reborn into the present moment and to live.